Hey warriors, Marcus Aurelius once said, "You always have the option of having no opinion." Stop for a moment and think about that. How many times have you lost your peace because of things you couldn't control? Someone said something careless, life threw something unfair your way, or a situation didn't go as planned. And what did you do? You reacted. You got angry. You shut down. You let the outside world take control of your mind. The Stoics warned us against this trap, because anger is not strength. Anger is slavery. It doesn't just hurt the person you aim it at. It burns you first. It clouds your mind, poisons your clarity, and steals the freedom you have over yourself. True strength, the Stoics teach us, is not about controlling others, but controlling yourself. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." This is the key. You cannot stop the world from being cruel. You cannot stop people from saying foolish things, but you can decide how you meet those moments. Anger might rise, frustration might appear, but you get to choose what stays. You get to decide what passes like a cloud and what shapes your soul. That is power. And that is what we are building today. Because when you master your emotions, no one can control you. No one can steal your peace. Today, I'm going to share 9 powerful Stoic principles that will help you break the chains of anger and live with unshakable calm. These principles are not just words. They are tools. They are weapons for the mind. They are what Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus used to stay steady in the storms of life. And if they worked for them, they will work for you. But you have to stay with me until the end, because each principle builds on the last, and by the time we're done, you will have a complete guide to mastering yourself. And if this message hits you right now, if you feel ready to take back control, drop this in the comments. My peace is stronger than any anger. I read every single one, and I want to know who is walking this path with me. Number 1. Separate events from judgments. The very first rule to mastering your emotions is brutally simple but life-changing. Separate events from judgments. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, said it perfectly. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things. Think about that. It's not the event that shakes you. It's the story you tell yourself about it. Most of us go through life on emotional autopilot, reacting to every little thing as if it has total power over us. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and you explode with anger because you told yourself they disrespected you. Someone doesn't text you back, and suddenly you feel hurt, rejected, or invisible. Not because of their silence, but because you told yourself they don't value you. The truth is, the event itself is neutral. It has no meaning until your mind gives it meaning. The Stoics were masters at this mental discipline. They trained themselves to pause and ask a powerful question. What actually happened here? And what story am I adding to it? This one pause can change your entire emotional life. Because when you strip away the story, you take away 90% of the pain. You stop being a puppet of your feelings. You stop letting every little thing throw you off balance. This is where real freedom begins. Imagine someone insults you. Instead of instantly reacting, you pause. You separate their words from your judgment about those words. You realize, this is just sound, vibrations in the air, and I am the one deciding if it means disrespect or not. When you do this, you are no longer at the mercy of other people's moods, opinions, or mistakes. You reclaim your inner power. This doesn't mean you ignore reality or pretend bad things don't happen. It means you refuse to add unnecessary suffering to what already is. The next time something triggers you, try this. Stop, breathe, and describe the event in the simplest, most neutral terms possible. They said these words. The meeting was canceled. The driver changed lanes. That's it. Then ask yourself, what am I making this mean? And is that meaning even true? You will be surprised how much of your anger disappears in that moment. Because anger is often just a story we tell ourselves over and over until we believe it. When you master this practice, you become untouchable. The world can still throw challenges at you, but it can no longer control your emotional state. You have separated what happened from how you choose to feel about it. And that choice is everything. This is where Stoicism begins, with the radical acceptance that you may not control the outside world, but you always control your judgment. And when you control your judgment, you control your life. Number 2, expect people to be flawed. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, started every morning with a powerful reminder. When you wake up, tell yourself, the people I meet today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot distinguish good from evil. He didn't say this to become cynical or bitter. He said it to prepare his mind, to protect his peace, to meet life without unnecessary anger. Most of our frustration and emotional pain comes from expecting people to be better than they are. We expect honesty and encounter lies. We expect kindness and meet rudeness. We expect reason and find chaos. When reality fails to match our expectations, we explode with frustration, disappointment, and anger. The Stoic solution is simple and profound. Stop expecting perfection. Expect flaws. Expect weakness. Expect mistakes. When you begin your day knowing that people will act imperfectly, you remove the element of surprise, and anger loses its grip. This isn't about excusing bad behavior or tolerating abuse. It's about mental preparation, about building armor for your mind. Imagine someone interrupts you, speaks rudely, or fails to keep a promise. If you are surprised, you burn with frustration. If you are prepared, you remain steady. The insult, the error, the disappointment becomes a neutral event, something to navigate calmly, without giving away your energy. This practice trains you to respond with wisdom instead of reaction. You become unshakable, grounded, and ready to handle whatever the world throws at you. By expecting flaws, you are not lowering your standards. You are raising your resilience. You are choosing peace over chaos, clarity over emotional storms. Each time someone acts imperfectly, you practice patience, understanding, and composure. Over time, this creates a mindset where life's irritations no longer control your inner state. You understand that human beings are human, and the world operates according to its nature, not your desires. Marcus Aurelius didn't let other people's weaknesses steal his peace, and neither should you. When you expect imperfection, you meet it with calm, strength, and clarity, and anger loses its power before it even arises. This is how the Stoics mastered their interactions, their emotions, and ultimately, their lives. Number 3, master your inner dialogue. Your mind is always talking, always narrating your experience, always shaping your reality. The question is simple. Is that voice helping you or hurting you? Most people live as prisoners of a harsh, critical, and angry inner dialogue. They tell themselves stories that make them victims, stories that justify rage, stories that fuel frustration and outbursts. Every insult, every mistake, every challenge becomes a drama in their mind because of the words they repeat to themselves. The Stoics, however, taught a different path. They trained their inner voice to be calm, rational, and guiding. Seneca reminded us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Our imagination is fed by the words we speak to ourselves. When you say, "This always happens to me," or "I can't believe they did this to me," you are feeding the fire of anger. You are telling your mind to spiral into frustration, resentment, and blame. But when you flip the script, when your inner dialogue becomes a tool instead of a tyrant, everything changes. Say to yourself, "This is an opportunity to practice patience," or "Their behavior is about them, not me." These simple shifts create distance between the event and your reaction. Your inner voice becomes your ally, a calm guide through the chaos of life, not an amplifier of every slight or irritation. Mastery begins here, not by controlling the world, but by mastering the conversation you have with yourself. The thoughts you allow, the words you repeat, determine whether anger, frustration, and resentment take root or dissolve. Your inner dialogue sets the tone for your entire day, influencing every interaction, every decision, and every emotion. When you take control of this internal narrative, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the commander of your mind. Anger loses its fuel, frustration loses its grip, and clarity, patience, and calm take its place. The Stoics understood that external events are neutral. It is our judgment, narrated by our inner voice, that gives them meaning. Train your mind to speak wisely, to guide patiently, to respond with composure. This is the foundation of true emotional mastery and the beginning of a life lived with calm authority and inner freedom. Number 4. Hit the pause button. Anger is fast. It rises like a wildfire, consuming thoughts, words, and actions before you even realize it. One moment someone cuts you off, interrupts you, or says something careless, and the next, you've reacted in a way you regret. This is why the Stoics taught the power of the pause. When you are triggered, do not react instantly. Stop. Breathe. Take a step back. Count to 10 if you need to. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That moment, that pause, is where your freedom lives. It is the space between stimulus and response. The gap where you decide whether you will act like a slave to impulse or a master of yourself. In that brief pause, you reclaim control. You no longer hand over your power to the chaos around you. You give yourself time to let the first wave of emotion pass, to see clearly, to respond intentionally, instead of reacting blindly. Most people never pause. They erupt, they lash out, and they feed the cycle of frustration and regret. The Stoics, however, saw that every reaction is a choice. By creating this space, they trained themselves to respond with calm strength rather than reactive weakness. The pause does not make you weak. It makes you unstoppable. It turns a moment of potential chaos into an opportunity for composure, wisdom, and mastery. Every time you choose to pause, you reinforce your ability to control your mind and your life. This practice rewires your nervous system, teaching it that you are in command, not the circumstances. Anger may rise, but it no longer rules you. Frustration may threaten, but it no longer defines you. The pause is your tool, your secret weapon, your path to emotional freedom. Every great Stoic understood this. The first impulse is not your master, your reason is. Master the pause, and you master yourself. The pause is where clarity begins, where calm strength emerges, and where true freedom is claimed. Number 5. Don't take it personally. One of the most common sources of anger is taking things personally. Someone insults you, criticizes your work, ignores your messages, or acts rudely, and instantly you feel attacked. You think their behavior defines your worth, and your emotions spiral. The Stoics saw this trap clearly. Most people's actions have little or nothing to do with you. Epictetus reminded us, remember, it is not he who reviles or strikes you who insults you, but your opinion that these things are insulting. In other words, the insult exists only in your mind if you let it. When someone lashes out, they are revealing their own state, their pain, their ignorance, their frustration, their lack of control. Their cruelty is a reflection of them, not you. When you see this, you begin to release the hold their words have over you. Their anger, judgment, or negativity passes over you like wind over a mountain. You stand firm, unmoved, free from emotional hijacking. This doesn't mean you become passive or accept abuse. You still set boundaries and act with integrity. But you no longer give other people the power to determine your inner state. Every time you take something personally, you hand over your control. Every time you choose not to, you reclaim your power. This is where emotional freedom begins. The Stoics trained themselves to respond with clarity rather than reaction, to remain rooted in reason, and to understand that your value is independent of others' opinions or behavior. By practicing this consistently, you build resilience. You become unshakable because your peace is self-contained. You learn to observe the world without letting it disturb you. Insults no longer sting. Criticism no longer wounds. The actions of others no longer dictate your emotions. You remain the master of your mind, the ruler of your inner world. Don't take it personally. See each moment as an opportunity to practice equanimity, patience, and wisdom. Let others reveal themselves while you remain steadfast. True freedom is the ability to live without surrendering your peace to the chaos around you. And this rule is one of the strongest tools for achieving that mastery. Number 6, let go quickly. Anger is heavy. Carry it too long, and it seeps into every part of your life, your mind, your body, your health, your relationships. The Stoics knew this all too well. Seneca warned that holding on to anger is like grasping a burning coal. The longer you clutch it, the more it scorches you. This is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about facing them, acknowledging them, and then letting them go before they harden into resentment or bitterness. Letting go is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. When someone wrongs you or a situation triggers frustration, pause and say to yourself, I release this for my own peace. Feel the anger fully, then consciously set it down. Repeat this process consistently until releasing becomes your default response, not your exception. The Stoics understood that holding on to grudges only extends your suffering. The moment you let go, you reclaim your power. You choose freedom over captivity. You choose clarity over chaos. Every time you release, you make space for calm, focus, and reason. You stop being a prisoner of past slights and future worries. Anger may rise, but it no longer controls you. Your mind becomes lighter, your spirit stronger, and your energy more vibrant. Letting go quickly does more than protect your peace. It strengthens your character. It trains you to respond with wisdom rather than react with rage. It transforms obstacles into lessons and emotional triggers into opportunities for mastery. When you practice this consistently, you become unshakable. You no longer hand over your power to the mistakes or cruelty of others. You remain centered, composed, and free. The Stoics didn't live without challenges, but they refused to carry the weight of every slight or offense. They mastered the art of release, understanding that their true strength came from within. Make letting go your habit. Make it your default. Feel the anger. Learn from it. Release it, and move forward. In doing so, you live lighter, think clearer, and act with unstoppable purpose. Number 7, turn problems into teachers. Everything that frustrates you carries a lesson, a hidden opportunity to grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. The obstacles you face are not roadblocks, they are tools. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" shift your question to, "What can I learn from this?" Every difficulty, every irritation, every frustration is a disguised teacher. The rude person in your path teaches patience and composure. The betrayal of someone you trusted teaches the importance of boundaries and discernment. The delay, the unexpected turn, or the challenge at work teaches resilience and perseverance. Life is a training ground, and each challenge is a weight you lift to strengthen your mind, character, and spirit. The Stoics understood that anger and resentment arise from resistance to what is, from trying to control what cannot be controlled. But when you see every problem as a teacher, your perspective shifts. Frustration becomes curiosity. Anger transforms into observation. Setbacks no longer steal your peace, they refine it. You begin to anticipate challenges with readiness rather than dread. Each obstacle is a chance to practice patience, courage, wisdom, and self-control. You no longer react blindly. You respond intentionally. The rude, the dishonest, the difficult, all become instruments for your growth. You start to welcome challenges as invitations to rise above, to sharpen your mind and fortify your spirit. This mindset rewires your brain. It turns life into a school for mastery rather than a battlefield for survival. Frustration fades because you are no longer resisting reality. You are learning from it. Every problem is now a teacher. Every difficulty a lesson. Every challenge a stepping stone. Adopt this view consistently, and you will notice a profound transformation. Obstacles no longer dominate your emotions. Anger diminishes. Wisdom grows. Strength solidifies. You begin to navigate life with unshakable calm, deliberate action, and deep insight. The Stoics didn't promise an easy life. They promised mastery over the self. When you turn problems into teachers, you live that mastery every day. Number 8, stay in the present moment. Anger feeds on what has already happened and what might happen. We replay old insults, relive past betrayals, and imagine future revenge. Our minds are tangled in what was and what could be, and in that chaos, our peace is stolen. But the present moment is always calm. It is never angry, never vengeful, never lost. Right now, you are simply here, breathing, existing, aware. The Stoics anchored themselves in the present because they understood that the past is gone and the future is uncertain. All that truly exists is this breath, this step, this moment. When anger or frustration rises, bring yourself back to now. Notice your breathing. Feel the sensations in your body. Observe what is actually happening in this very second. Not what happened yesterday, not what might happen tomorrow. By focusing fully on the present, you break the chains of resentment and fear. The mind can no longer feed on imagined wrongs or anticipated slights. Each moment of awareness is a shield against emotional hijacking. The present is neutral, steady, and powerful. Anchoring in it dissolves most of your pain instantly because the energy of anger cannot survive in clear awareness. Stoics practiced this constantly. They did not let their thoughts drift into endless rumination. They returned to the now again and again, training themselves to respond instead of reacting. Over time, this practice rewires the mind. You begin to notice when you are carried away by past regrets or future worries. You learn to step back, breathe, and act with clarity. Life becomes less chaotic, less emotional, and far more manageable. Anger no longer has its grip, because you are rooted in what is real, immediate, and undeniable. When others provoke, when setbacks occur, when life twists unexpectedly, the present moment is your sanctuary. Here, you are not lost to illusions of past or future. Here, you reclaim your power. Here, you choose calm, clarity, and strength. The Stoics didn't promise a life without challenges, but they showed that by staying in the present moment, you can face every challenge without being consumed by anger or anxiety. Your mind becomes your home, your breath your anchor, and your focus your greatest tool. Number 9. Strengthen compassion. The final rule is simple but powerful. Replace anger with compassion. Anger assumes that people know better and are deliberately choosing to harm you. It makes you a prisoner of expectation, judgment, and resentment. Compassion, on the other hand, understands that most people act from ignorance, fear, or personal pain. When someone cuts you off, insults you, or betrays you, it is rarely about you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that those who do wrong act because they cannot tell good from evil. They are lost, blind to what is good, trapped in their own suffering. Seeing this, your desire for revenge begins to fade, and a different energy takes its place. The desire to understand, to remain grounded, to act with wisdom rather than emotion. Compassion is not weakness, it is the ultimate strength. It allows you to remain calm while everyone else is losing control. It is the shield that protects your mind from being hijacked by anger or resentment. Practicing compassion does not mean tolerating abuse or accepting injustice. It means choosing the high ground, responding with clarity instead of impulsive retaliation. It is the ability to see beyond the immediate offense and recognize the human struggle behind the actions of others. When you cultivate this mindset, your interactions change. Conflicts no longer consume you. Provocations no longer derail your day. Every insult, slight, or mistake becomes an opportunity to exercise patience, understanding, and self-mastery. Over time, this rewires your responses. You stop reacting reflexively. You respond intentionally. Your energy is no longer spent on hatred or bitterness. It is focused on presence, wisdom, and peace. Compassion transforms anger into clarity, frustration into insight, and challenge into growth. It allows you to move through life with dignity, resilience, and emotional freedom. This is the final key in the Stoic toolkit: the ability to face human flaws without being consumed by them, the ability to act wisely while others act recklessly, and the ability to remain unshakable in a world full of chaos. When you combine all 9 rules, separating events from judgments, expecting flaws, mastering your inner dialogue, hitting the pause button, not taking things personally, letting go quickly, turning problems into teachers, staying present, and strengthening compassion, you create a complete framework for emotional mastery and inner peace. The path to unshakable peace. These 9 Stoic rules are not just concepts. They are a complete system for emotional freedom. Separate events from judgments. Expect people to be flawed. Master your inner dialogue. Hit the pause button. Don't take it personally. Let go quickly. Turn problems into teachers. Stay fully present. Strengthen compassion. Practice these consistently, and no one will ever control your mind or emotions again. Life will still throw storms at you, traffic, betrayal, insults, setbacks, but you will remain the calm eye at the center. This is the essence of true strength. This is what it means to master your inner world. The power to stay unshaken, to respond with clarity instead of reaction, to act from wisdom instead of impulse. This is freedom. If this message hits you, I want you to declare it now in the comments. My peace is stronger than my anger. I read every comment, and I want to see who is ready to take these principles seriously. And if you are committed to mastering your mind, to becoming resilient, disciplined, and calm, no matter what life throws at you, subscribe to this channel, because this is where we forge warriors of the mind, where we train for mastery over ourselves, and where we learn to turn every challenge into an opportunity for inner strength.